The recent discovery of black holes gives us a clue as to who we really are, because it's adding something to our cosmology. The ancients were aware that the physical body, its macrocosmic element is the earth, and our emotional body, the macrocosmic element is the moon, and our mental body, the macrocosmic element is the sun. And until recently, we thought that at the center of our galaxy, and at the center of all galaxies and the universe, were great central suns. So, when we take a look at this, when we are open to the wisdom of the ancients, that suns and stars represent the mental body, we're kind of sort of telling ourselves that everything revolves around the mind. And that's how we live, isn't it? That's how most of us live. We live in concepts. We live in good and bad and up and down and right and wrong and past and future. Because our lives are kind of revolving around our minds. Okay? But this is not really, this is not the ending. It's not the beginning either. It's just a step along the way of our evolution. Really, the beginning and the ending, the alpha and the omega, is the black hole presence that we really are. And it's just great that science has discovered these black holes. It's wonderful. It's wonderful that science has discovered that when something goes into a black hole, it seems to disappear forever. And also that black holes give birth to everything. Black holes give birth to stars, to new galaxies. Because you are a black hole. Right now, when you look into the feeling of your body with your awareness, have a feel into your hands, let's say, into your fingers. Just a very subtle pranic feeling, that ether feeling that you feel, the warm, tingly aliveness in your hands, or anywhere in your body. And the deeper you go into that feeling, you realize, well, there's nothing there. And people do this with pain as well, when they're feeling like really bad pain. You can go all the way into the heart of that pain and there is nothing there. And in many cases, this helps the pain to subside, because we're no longer holding on to it by focusing on its vibration. So, yeah, this is a very, very cool discovery by science, black holes, because it points us back when we don't just look at the idea of black holes with our conscious thinking minds, but with our mystical understanding. Mysticism is the bridge between our conscious thinking mind and our subconscious intuitive creative mind, so that what we feel on the inside, we're able to make some kind of useful concept of that. Or in the case of black holes, we're able to say, wow, this is really cool. When we look at the cosmology, as I said, we can say that, wow, so what do black holes represent? Well, they represent us, the no thing that we are at our very core right now. And so when we're able to, like right now is a good time to start, to have a sense of this openness, this spaciousness, this no-thingness, out of which our body, our thoughts, our feelings, our everything, our awareness is coming. It's like, wow, right now, when I'm not kind of, going round and round and round my mind and focusing upon my mind, which, as you know, is very kind of, is very limiting. When we don't do that, and we're really open, just like a little child, like when you were a little child or a baby, then everything is just as it is. There is nothing, but there is also everything, simultaneously. So what I want to invite you to do, through watching this video or listening to this podcast, is to start to be more aware of this, like to allow whatever you're feeling, whether it's so-called positive, so-called negative, particularly the so-called negative emotions, negative thoughts, that can be so limiting. and just see if you can have a sense that they're, they're kind of infused. They're within them and around them, and what they're coming out of. It's just sort of nothing. It's no thing at all. It's not even the space, the ether, that I spoke about in the last show. That we're living in this in the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Ether, and the ether is the most subtle element which allows all of this incredible experience to take place. But even the ether is kind of something, and that is coming out of the no thing, of the black holes that we are. Okay, and the Buddha was aware of this. He spoke about emptiness, the void. Buddha didn't even speak about God, because God really is just a concept of the thinking mind, the same as emptiness, the same as void. These are just words which point us towards something, boom, right now, which really, doesn't have any word to it. It's something that's we have no idea of, but it's us. It's us right now. And when we can come back to this place, we can realize what the Buddha spoke about when he spoke of non-action. Non-action doesn't mean that we just sit around doing nothing. It means that when we're just living in this incredible, just absolute openness, absolute openness, is like absolute potential that we are right now, then, and we get out of our own way, then it seems that the best kind of experience effortlessly arises out of this. The best thoughts, the most authentic emotions, the most authentic experience. It's only when we're focusing, when we're kind of, we're orbiting the mental body, and everything has to have a name, and everything, sort of has a category, it's good or it's bad, then we're tied to what we already know. We're tied to the past. And for the most part, the emotions that we experience, and the thoughts too, they're not authentic ones. They might seem to be maybe a bit more authentic than somebody else if we're good at navigating, the idea of the external world, that some people are, right? But many of us, there's a feeling inside of us that, it can't give me everything that I want. And eventually everybody will feel this. Everybody will have to face in their own evolution the realization of the void, of the emptiness, of the black hole that they really are. Jesus spoke of this too. He spoke of I, and I is the awareness which comes out of the black hole that we are. I can of mine own self do nothing. My Father or my Mother doeth the works. And as I said in the last show, the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the Father really it's no thing, it's the void. The Son is awareness that comes out of that. And the Holy Ghost is the experience, the beautiful prana, the ether, that gives rise to the whole of our experience. So yeah, once more, the gift of this show is, whatever you're doing, just see if you can have a sense that you're really open. And whatever you're feeling, particularly the limiting emotions, the limiting thoughts, that you're allowing them as best you can. You're penetrating all the way to their heart with your awareness, and you'll find at the heart of even the blackest thought, the blackest emotion, there isn't anything there. And the more you can do this, the more you will awaken, and that you'll be able to maintain your presence, your awareness, your consciousness in no thing. Until you can do that, when you're focusing always in this or that, right or wrong, then it's difficult to maintain even a couple of seconds in choiceless awareness, and to allow your life, to allow the Father, the Mother to doeth the works, to allow non-action to take place by itself, and the most authentic thoughts, the most authentic action to come out of themselves. That's not easy until you start to practice, and whatever you're doing, you're aware of this openness, this spaciousness that doesn't have any thought to it, but is just absolutely benign, totally benign. It's totally, you know, totally safe. It's the safest place you can be because it's you, it's us, it's who we are. Okay? So, until the next show, blessings.